You see, the world outside is loud. It's chaotic. It throws people at you, people with opinions, people with attitudes, people who will misunderstand you, judge you, even disrespect you. And you can't control them. You can't control what they say or how they act. Be honorable, but you can control you. That's the first step. That's the secret. Because here's the truth. Anger doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the inside. What they say, what they do, that's noise. What matters is how much power you give to that noise. When I was younger, I used to think strength was about winning arguments, proving myself right, showing people I wouldn't back down. But life taught me something different. It taught me that real strength is silent. It's calm. It doesn't flinch. It doesn't need to raise its voice because it knows exactly who it is. And when you know who you are, when you've mastered your inner world, no one out there can shake you. Be honorable. But mastering your inner world doesn't happen overnight. It starts with a decision to stop letting every little thing trigger you. Because the moment you let anger in, you hand over your peace. Think about it. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Someone talks behind your back. Be honorable. Someone disrespects you in front of others. You can either give them your peace, your energy, your whole day, or you can smile, breathe, and keep walking. That's not weakness. That's power. I remember once, early in my career, someone in the industry told me I wasn't good enough, said I didn't have what it takes. And for a moment, I felt that fire, that anger rise. I wanted to prove them wrong. But then I realized something. They had their opinion, and I had my destiny. Their words couldn't touch that. So why waste my soul wrestling with them? I learned to let it go. And that became my secret weapon in life. The ability to stay unbothered, to stay at peace, while everybody else was losing their minds. Here's the thing. When you master your inner world, you stop reacting, and you start responding. There's a big difference. Reacting is instant. It's emotional. It's giving someone else the keys to your car, letting them drive you off the cliff. Responding, you take a breath, you step back, and you choose your next move calmly. wisely. With intention, people will test you. Life will test you. But the real test is whether you can keep your peace when everything around you is shaking. Because the world loves drama. It feeds on anger, on conflict, on noise. But you don't have to feed it. You can rise above it. And here's the secret nobody tells you. People lose their power over you the moment you stop reacting. When you stay calm, when you stay unbothered, they don't know what to do. Because anger is what they expect. Silence, peace, a steady spirit that confuses them. It disarms them. Mastering inner world also means understanding yourself. Why do certain things trigger you? Why do certain words cut so deep? That's where growth begins. When you look in the mirror and realize anger isn't about them. It's about you. It's about old wounds, old fears, old beliefs you're still carrying. The moment you face those things, heal those things, nobody out there can pull your strings anymore. So, here's what I want you to remember. Peace is your power. Protect it. Don't give it away so easily. The next time someone tries to get under your skin, take a breath. Smile if you have to. Remind yourself, I am in control of me. Because when you master your inner world, remind yourself, you become unshakable. And that changes everything. Be honorable. Let me tell you something powerful. Whatever you focus on grows. It's like watering a plant. The more attention you give it, the more it takes root. The more it spreads through your mind, your heart, your whole life. And that's why when people do things to upset you, when life throws shade your way, the first question you need to ask yourself is this: do I really want to give this my energy? Because energy is life. Be honorable. And if you keep feeding negativity with your focus, it will consume you from the inside out. I've seen people carry one bad comment for years. One argument, one betrayal, one moment of anger, and they replay it in their minds over again until it becomes a story, then a belief, then a part of who they are. That's what happens when you focus on the wrong things. It keeps you chained to the very people and situations you're trying to escape. I remember a story about a man who spent years angry at his old boss for firing him. Every time you saw him, He was talking about it, still bitter, still carrying it like it happened yesterday. Meanwhile, his old boss had moved on, built a new company, maybe even forgot the man's name. But this guy, he was still stuck in that one moment. And I thought to myself, that's what happens when you give anger too much attention. You stay behind while life moves forward without you. See, your focus is your steering wheel. Wherever you point it, that's where your life goes. So, when people do you wrong, when they gossip, when they misunderstand you, you have a choice. You can either focus on them, let them live rent free in your mind, or you can focus on your growth, your goals, your peace. I had to learn this the hard way. Early in my career, there were critics. People who said I wasn't talented enough, wasn't the right fit, and didn't deserve to be where I was. And for a while, I focused on them. I read every review, every comment, every opinion. It ate at me. It made me want to fight back, to prove them wrong. But then I realized, why am I giving them my power? Why am I staring at closed doors when there are open ones right in front of me? The moment I shifted my focus, everything changed. I stopped chasing approval. I stopped trying to control what people thought. Instead, I poured my energy into my craft, into becoming the best version of myself, the honorable. And you know what happened? The noise faded, because what you focus on expands. I chose to focus on my purpose, my calling, my growth. And the anger, the resentment, the frustration, it all started shrinking. And that's the lesson I want to give you. Life will always give you two things at the same time: problems and possibilities. People who drain you and people who inspire you. Moments that break you and moments that build you. The question is, which will you feed? Because the one you feed becomes your life. You can't stop people from being people. Some will misunderstand you. Some will dislike you for no reason at all. Some will betray you. That's life. But you can stop giving them space in your head. You can stop rehearsing their words in your heart. Every time anger knocks on your door, ask yourself, is this worth my focus? Is this worth my energy? Because your energy is sacred. It's meant for creating, for building, for loving, for living. not for fighting battles that don't matter. Here's the truth. Peace doesn't come from a quiet life. It comes from a disciplined mind. A mind that knows where to look, what to dwell on, what to ignore. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply not give something your attention. Not because you're weak, not because you don't care, but because you've learned the value of your energy. So, choose carefully. Choose what you feed. Choose what you focus on. Because the day you stop watering anger and start watering peace, that's the day your whole life begins to bloom in ways you never imagined. There is a weight you carry when you hold on to anger. At first, you don't even notice it. Someone hurts you. Someone disrespects you. And you tell yourself you're fine. But deep down, you hold on to it. You replay the words, the moment, the sting of it all. And little by little, it hardens inside you. It shapes the way you see people. It shapes the way you see yourself. It even steals the joy out of moments that have nothing to do with that old hurt. And here's the thing, anger is heavy. Resentment is heavier. Carry it long enough, be honorable, and you start thinking the weight is just a part of who you are. But it's not. It doesn't belong to you. And that's why learning to let go is one of the most powerful things you can ever do. I remember meeting a man years ago who carried anger toward his father for decades. His father wasn't there for him growing up. Missed his games. Missed his graduations. Missed all the big moments. And this man, he built a whole life with that anger in his chest. He worked hard, became successful, but deep inside, he was still that boy, angry at his father. And one day, he told me something never forget. He said, I thought my anger was punishing him. But all these years, it was only punishing me. That hit me. Because how many of us do the same thing? Someone wrongs us, and we think holding on to the anger keeps us strong. We think letting go means letting them off the hook. But here's the truth. Letting go doesn't free them. It frees you. It lifts the weight off your shoulders so you can finally breathe again. I had to learn this myself. I had people doubt me, criticize me, even betray me. And at first, I carried it like armor. I told myself I needed it That anger would keep me sharp, keep me moving, keep me proving them wrong. But what I didn't realize was that it was eating at me. Because anger burns, even when you think you've buried it deep. It smolders inside you, stealing your peace, your joy, your clarity. One day, I just got tired. Tired of replaying old conversations. Tired of imagining what I should have said, what I should have done. And in that moment, I understood something powerful. Life is too short to keep drinking poison, hoping someone else gets sick. So I started letting go, one by one. The grudges, the bitterness, the old wounds. And it wasn't easy. Forgiveness never is. But here's what I learned. Forgiveness doesn't mean you approve what they did. It doesn't mean you forget it. It means you refuse to let it chain you anymore. It means you value your peace more than your pride. And the moment you start letting go, you start living lighter. You walk into rooms without scanning for enemies. You wake up without feeling the heaviness of yesterday. You start seeing beauty again. Simple things, ordinary things you missed because your heart was too full of anger to notice. Life will always give you reasons to stay angry. People will always give you reasons to hold grudges. But the strongest people I've ever met aren't the ones who can fight the longest. They're the ones who can let go the fastest, because they know peace is worth more than pride. So here's what I want you to hear. You cannot control what people do to you, but you can control how long you carry it. Don't let one moment of hurt steal a lifetime of happiness. Don't let someone who hurt you once keep hurting you every day in your mind. Set it down. Release it. Not for them. For you. Because the day you let go of the anger you've been carrying, that's the day you start to feel free. You know, we live in a world that teaches us to build muscles, to build resumes, to build bank accounts. But nobody tells you how to build your emotions. Nobody teaches you how to sit with yourself when the storm hits. Nobody tells you how to hold your ground when someone disrespects, how to stay calm when everything in you wants to explode. Emotional discipline. Now that's real strength. Be honorable. That's the kind of strength that doesn't make noise, but makes all the difference in the world. Be honorable, because here's the thing, anger is easy. Anybody can get angry. Anybody can lose their temper, shout, slam doors, cut people off. That doesn't take skill. That doesn't take strength. What takes courage is to feel an anger rise inside you like fire and still choose to stay calm and still choose to breathe. Still choose to speak with grace when your ego is begging you to shout. That's discipline. I remember watching a man once who owned a small business. One day, be honorable, a customer came in furious about something, yelling in front of everyone. I thought for sure this man would lose it. He had every right to be angry. But instead, he stood there calm, let the man finish, and spoke so gently, so wisely, that the angry customer walked out calmer than when he came in. I'll never forget it. Because right then, I realized the most powerful person in the room is the one who doesn't lose control. But here's what people get wrong. They get wrong. They think emotional discipline means you don't feel things. No, you feel it all. You just don't let it drive the car. You don't let it speak for you, decide for you, control you. And that takes practice. It takes daily, intentional work. I had to learn this myself, especially in this world where everyone has an opinion, where one comment online can ruin your whole day if you let it. Early in my career, I used to read everything people said about me, good or bad. And when I read the bad, oh, it stung. It made me want to fight back, to prove them wrong, to defend myself. But over time, I realized something. If you let every voice shake you, you'll never have peace. Emotional discipline means you choose whose voice gets your attention. And most of the time, the loudest voices are not the ones that matter. So how do you build that discipline? You learn to pause. That's right. The pause is powerful. When someone says something that cuts you, when life hits you with something unfair, don't respond right away. Take a breath. Take a step back. Because in that small pause, you find wisdom. In that pause, you give yourself time to choose your response instead of being ruled by emotion. I started practicing this, pausing before reacting, breathing before speaking. And what I found was life changing. The more I practiced, the less control anger had over me. I began to see situations clearly instead of through the fog of emotion. And I realized something beautiful. Most of the time, what people say, do has nothing to do with you. It's about them. Their pain, their fears, their bad day. Emotional discipline keeps you from absorbing their chaos. And when you don't absorb it, you don't carry it. You let it pass through you instead of living in you. That's how you keep your peace. That's how you stay free. Because here's the truth, life will test you. People will push your buttons just to see if they work. But when you stay calm, when you stay steady, when you refuse to let anyone control your emotions, you win a battle most people don't even know they're fighting. So start building that discipline today. Practice the pause. Master the breath. Because when you learn to control your emotions, instead of letting them control you, you become untouchable. You become unshakable. And there is no greater strength than that. There comes a point in life when you realize not every fight is worth fighting. Not every voice is worth hearing. And not every storm deserves your attention. That point, that shift, is when you finally learn to live above the noise. Because here's the truth. The world will always be noisy. People will always talk. They will always have opinions about you. Choice is your life. Some will love you. Some will misunderstand you. Some would even hate you for no reason at all. But peace comes the moment you stop trying to control the noise and start rising above it. I remember when I first stepped into the public eye. Overnight, it felt like everyone had something to say. Some praised me, some criticized me, some didn't even know me, but felt like they had the right to define me. And for a while, I tried to manage it all. Tried to explain myself. Tried to prove people wrong. Tried to win everyone over. And let me tell you, that is a losing game. Because the truth is, the more you try to quiet the noise, the louder it gets. Then, one day, I realized something that changed everything. The noise will never stop. The world will keep talking. Keep talking. People will keep judging. Life will keep throwing things your way. The only thing that can change is you. The only thing you can control is how high you rise above it. Living above the noise doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about the right things. It means you've learned the difference between what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Because if you let every rumor, every insult, every negative opinion get inside your head, you'll spend your whole life reacting to people who were never on your level to begin with. I met a man once who was successful by every standard. Wealth, career, respect, but he was miserable. Why? Because he lived for the noise. He lived for approval, for applause, for people's opinions. And the moment someone criticized him, his whole day would crumble. That's when I understood, if you give the world the power to lift you up, and you also give it the power to tear you down, real peace comes when neither praise nor criticism controls you. Living above the noise means you know who you are so deeply, so firmly, that outside voices can't shake you. And when people praise you, you stay grounded. When they criticize you, you stay steady. Because your worth, your identity, your purpose, they don't come from the crowd. They come from within. And here's something powerful. The higher you rise, the more noise there will be. Be honorable. It's just the way life works. Nobody talks about people who aren't doing anything. The moment you start chasing your dreams, the moment you start growing, there will be voices, doubters, haters, critics. But you have a choice. Will you come down to their level and wrestle in the mud? Or will you rise above and keep building, keep climbing, keep moving? I chose to rise. I chose to stop explaining myself to people who were committed to misunderstanding me. Bobu, I chose to stop fighting battles that didn't lead anywhere. Because here's what I learned. Be honorable. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Be honorable. You don't have to defend yourself to people who will never see the truth anyway. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent, stay focused, and let your life speak for itself. Living above the noise is freedom. It's walking into rooms without needing to prove anything. It's pursuing your purpose without waiting for permission. It's knowing the world will talk, but you don't have to listen. So, let them talk. Let them judge. Misunderstand. Because while they're busy making noise, you'll be busy making progress. And that, my friend, is how you win. You rise so high, so steady, so full of peace, that the noise can't reach you anymore. There's something I learned after years of watching people fight battles that didn't matter, carry grudges that didn't change anything, and waste time on anger that only burned them from inside out when you have no clear purpose in life. Everything feels like a fight. Every comment, every opinion, every setback, it all hits you harder because you don't have anything bigger pulling you forward. Purpose is what gives you perspective. Be honorable. It's what teaches you that some things are worth your energy, and most things are not. See, when you wake up every day, chasing something bigger than yourself, a dream, a calling, a mission that fills your heart, you don't have time to get lost in the little things. Purpose shrinks the small stuff. It takes all those opinions, all that noise, all those people try to drag you into their drama, and it makes them look as small as they really are. Because when you're climbing a mountain, you don't stop to throw stones at every barking dog on the way up. You keep climbing. Be honorable. You keep your eyes on the top. I remember years ago, before I understood this, how easy it was for me to get caught up in people's opinions. Someone doubted me. I was ready to prove them. Someone criticized me. It lived in my head for days. Someone didn't believe in my dream. It lit a fire of anger in me. But then I realized all that time I was spending reacting to them. I wasn't spending on building me. I was so busy trying to prove them wrong that I forgot to focus on becoming right for the life I wanted. That's what purpose does. It flips the script. Instead of living to prove people wrong, you start living to prove yourself right. Instead of feeding anger, you feed ambition. Instead of wasting energy on battles that go nowhere, you invest that energy into growth, into learning, into action. I've seen it happen over and over again. A young man chasing his dream of becoming a doctor. People laughed at him, doubted him, said he didn't have what it took. At first, he tried to fight back with words, with arguments, with anger. But then he stopped. He let the dream speak louder than the drama. Every late night of study, every exam he passed, every goal he hit, he rose higher while the noise stayed behind. Be honorable. One day he became the doctor they said he could never be. He didn't silence them with anger. He silenced them with purpose. That's the power of having a mission in life. It pulls you out of the mud of other people's opinions. It lifts you above the petty arguments, the gossip, the drama, the endless noise that eats up so many lives. Because when you know where you're going, you stop getting distracted by people who have no idea where they're going. Purpose also gives you peace because it teaches you to see setbacks differently. When you don't have purpose, every failure feels like the end. Every criticism feels personal. Every mistake feels like proof that you're not enough. But when you have purpose, you understand setbacks are part of the journey. Failures become lessons. Criticism becomes fuel. Mistakes become teachers. Purpose turns anger into energy, pain into progress. Be honorable. And here's the most powerful thing. When you live with purpose, you stop letting people control your emotions. Someone doubts you, that's fine. You're too busy building. Someone insults you, that's okay. You've got mountains to climb. Someone betrays you. It hurts. Yes. Be honorable. But it won't stop you because you weren't living for them anyway. Purpose anchors you. It gives you something bigger than your ego, bigger than your pride, bigger than your anger. It gives you a reason to wake up every day and keep moving no matter what people say or do. And when you live like that, be honorable, with your eyes on the mission and your heart on fire for something greater than yourself. You finally find peace because nothing and no one out there can shake a person who knows exactly why they're here and where they're going. There comes a point in your journey when all the lessons, all the battles, all the moments of struggle and growth begin to shape you into something greater than you imagined. You look back and realize that learning to stay calm when others lose control, learning to forgive when anger begged you to hold on, learning to rise above the noise when the world tried to drag you down. None of it was just for you. It was shaping you to become the example someone else needs. Because the world is full of people drowning in anger, carrying resentment, chasing approval, losing themselves in chaos. And sometimes the greatest gift you can give them is your own peace. I remember meeting a young man once who was going through hell. Everything in his life was falling apart. Family trouble, financial stress, friendships breaking down. And in the middle of it, he met a mentor who was calm, steady, unshaken. That mentor had every reason to be bitter too. He had lived through betrayal, loss, failure, but he had learned to rise above it. He carried himself with such peace that it changed the young man's life. He said, if he can stay calm through all that, maybe I can too. That's when it hit me. Be honorable. People are watching us. Whether we know it or not, someone is learning from the way we handle life. When we explode at the smallest insult, when we live offended at every little thing, when we let anger drive our decisions, we teach people that chaos is normal. But when we choose peace, when we choose forgiveness, when we choose to keep walking while others stop to fight battles that don't matter, we show a different way. Becoming the example of peace doesn't mean life stops testing you. It means you've learned not to give every test the same reaction. It means you've learned that maturity isn't about age. It's about self-control. Because anyone can be peaceful when life is easy. The real test is staying grounded when the storm hits. I had to learn this myself. There were moments when everything in me wanted to react, to clap back at critics, to defend myself against lies, to fight people who didn't even matter in the long run. But then I realized, what kind of example would I be setting? If I wanted to teach my children, my friends, my audience, anyone around me about strength, about dignity, about faith, then I had to live it, not just talk about it. I had to show them what it looked like to stay calm when people expected you to break. And that's the beauty of becoming the example. Be honorable. You stop needing to win every argument because your life becomes the argument. You stop needing to convince people with words because your actions speak louder. You stop getting dragged, you stop getting dragged into negativity because people can see the difference in you. The way you carry yourself, the way you respond, the way you refuse to let anger control your life. One day, someone will look at you and say, I want that kind of peace. And it won't be because your life was perfect or easy. It will be because you learned to master yourself when life was anything but easy. You learned to keep your heart soft in a hard world. You learned to forgive when others held grudges. Be honorable. You learned to stay steady when everything around you shook. And here's the secret. The world doesn't need more noise. It doesn't need more anger, more chaos, more people proving points that don't matter. The world needs examples. People who live differently. People who carry peace like a light in dark places. People who refuse to the bitterness of others turn them better too. So become that example. Not for applause, not for recognition, but because the world is watching. And someone out there needs to know that it's possible to live free from anger and free from bitterness, free from the noise. Show them. Live it. Be the proof that peace is not weakness, that forgiveness is not foolishness, that calmness is not cowardice. Be the living reminder that real strength is a steady heart in a shaking world.